What is good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the NKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, put it on all so you get notified straight away as soon as we drop any new content onto the channel. Without any further ado, let's get into this one. So this weekend, this Saturday coming up, we're going to have the fight that I've been waiting for a little while now, and that is between Terrence Crawford and Showtime Shawn. And this is for the welterweight championship of the world, the WBO welterweight championship. And yeah, this is a big one. I mean, gonna talk about here who I think wins ultimately, and Porter, for me, he will be the test that sort of proves to us exactly how good Terrence Crawford is as a welterweight. And I say this due to the fact that, as all you boxing fans will know, Terrence Crawford hasn't really been able to secure fights with the main rivals. All the guys on the PBC side of things, under Al Heyman, he hasn't been able to secure fights with any of them, really. I mean, not Garcia, Thurman, even Ugas either. He ain't been able to secure a fight with Ugas, Garcia, Thurman, or Errol Spence Jr. Of course, that's a fight that everyone really wants to see. Still want to see it now. But anyway, Crawford has really been unable to secure any fights with those sort of marquee names. Could be mostly due to politics, I think. And whereas with Shawn Porter, the opposite is true. They share a common opponent in Kell Brook. Porter lost to Brook. He lost his world title to Brook, and recently Terrence Crawford stopped Kell Brook. But apart from that, Shawn Porter's definitely, as far as welterweight division goes, he's been in there with the better opposition. He's been in there with Garcia, Thurman, and Errol Spence Jr. And you could say, well, you could argue that basically he beat Errol Spence Jr. Many would say no, he didn't, but at the same time, it was that competitive and that close of a fight that you could definitely make an argument for Shawn Porter beating Errol Spence Jr. Yeah, it was that close and nip and tuck, one match in it. So he's been very competitive against the best welterweights outside of Terrence Crawford. So he's the perfect test for Terrence Crawford. And Crawford, for him, his best work has been done. Some of it has been done at welterweight, but a lot of it has been done in the super lightweight or light welterweight division, where he became undisputed champion in that weight division. I can remember him coming over to going to Scotland, Ricky Burns' backyard, beating him, levels above him, beating my other guy at Freddie Roach's fighter. He was able to beat him at light welter as well, Victor Postol. And, Postol was another good fighter. His name just slipped me for a minute. But, yeah, Postol was another good fighter, another champion at light welter or super lightweight. He was able to beat him. He cleaned it up at 140 pounds, and that's where definitely made a big name for himself. Also at lightweight, brilliant wins down there. So the welterweight division is the division for him where he is now, and he's just been short of those marquee names fighting him. That's the main problem he's had in the division. We all know he's got the potential. We all know he's got the skills and the class, but he just ain't been able to get the guys in the ring. So by Shawn Porter stepping up here, this is going to really show us, it's going to be that acid test. Is really going to show us, well, how good Terrence Crawford is as a welterweight. For me, I think this is going to be a fight that's going to be very exciting. The way I see it going is Shawn Porter is going to do what he always does. He's going to bring the pressure. He's going to come in there with swarming attacks. I think he might be a bit clever in the early going. I think he might be a little bit cagey. He might use his legs a bit, use his movement a little bit, might be a bit more educated with the way he attacks Terrence Crawford. But at the end of the day, he's the guy that's a little bit shorter, doesn't have the long arms like Terrence Crawford. So ultimately, for Shawn Porter to win this fight, he's got to get on the inside. He's got to work up close. He's got to go to the body and ultimately try and slow Terrence Crawford down and beat him that way. Really, that's what he's got to do. He's got to attack. He's got to come forward, and he's got to be sort of in Terrence Crawford's face. Got to do it in a clever way. He's got to sort of move his head, use some lateral movement, and just try and get in the inside, go to the body, and bring the shots up. But I see him coming in there, marauding attacks, and putting Terrence Crawford under pressure. I see him being able to give Terrence Crawford a difficult challenge, give him some difficult rounds in there, but ultimately, I see Terrence Crawford winning this fight. I think Terrence Crawford, the fact that he's so versatile, the fact that he can box you on the back foot, he can move, he can make you miss and make you pay, he can counter punch. But then at the same time, as we saw against that Kaviauskas, the Mean Machine, he was able to go, from boxing, and he was able to get hurt and then just turn it completely around. And he's one of those guys that is such a sublime skill, sublime talent, and he's that versatile that he can just switch from one game plan to the other. So he can go from moving around the ring, outboxing you, to when the need for it comes, he can go and have a war with you, he can have a scrap with you, he can have a fight with you and beat you at that. He can beat you at your own game. And I think with that versatility, the way I see it is that versatility of Terrence Crawford, and the fact that I think skill-wise he's just a few levels above a guy like Shawn Porter. I can see that his versatility, his skill and his toughness just brings him through wherever difficult moments come in this fight. And I believe that it is a bit of a bold one, but with Terrence Crawford, he's that skillful and that accurate that I believe he could become the first man ever to stop Shawn Porter. And we know Shawn Porter, he's sturdy, he's steady. He's been down a couple of times, but he always comes back up. He's one of those guys that you just can't seem to hurt him. But I think with Crawford's accuracy and his timing and his skill, I just see him being just too versatile and just that level above Shawn Porter. And I see that he could become the first man to stop Shawn Porter. And it's a bit of a bold one, but that's my prediction on it. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to points. I think the obvious pick is Terrence Crawford on points, but I think he can go one further and actually stop Shawn Porter. So let me know what you think about this fight in the comment section below. Do you agree with my prediction? What do you reckon? Crawford on points? Do you think Porter can somehow upset Terrence Crawford, or do you go with Crawford by a stoppage like me? Let me know. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.